It is good afternoon, officers. Time for today's current affairs videos. We want to launch a new batch crash course for 2026. You already know 3,500 selections have been already done by the great guidance of SRIRAM sir. And what are the products we are going to give you? 100 days of classes will be provided to you. Special focus on previous year questions. 50 prelims tests, recorded classes, complete CSAT and GS coverage will be given. One-to-one personal mentorship, prelims revision booklets, 18 months of current affairs classes, and film sacks for UPSC toppers. Online courses 9,999, offline courses 14,999. So batch, if you want to be the next, join us on December 8, 2025. Use the code SRIRAM on December 8th, and these are the products we are going to give you. If you have any queries, you can call 812-119-18985. Now, let's look at the topics for today. Hero's topics, India needs research pipelines, very important topic. GS 1, 2, 3, it's very important. Next, AIDS and TB fight. Tamil Nadu shows the way again, very important topic. Because today is December 1st, World AIDS Day. Therefore, that is very important. Next, Modi urges people to take part in Kashi Tamil Sangamam, very important topic. New finds highlight Great Nicobar project sites in biodiversity, therefore very important. And finally, Cyclone Ditwa. Weekends, 3 die in the rain related to incidents. So, another cyclone after the Andhra Pradesh cyclone. So, let's look at the first topic. India needs research pipelines. Research pipelines engine. So, you have to understand the context in which this particular topic has been associated and the way it has to be analyzed. It's very... So, first thing that you have to understand here is basically, we have to understand that all the developed countries like US, China, Russia, and Europe, all these guys, what they do is they mix studies plus industry. Both of them is a good mix. That is what we have to understand. The mixer is studies plus industries is what they are looking at. So, for this, what is required is a huge process of something called R&D, research and development pipelines. Pipeline is not just pipelines, but the process. That is very important. So in this, what happens is they are looking for link with respect to universities, laboratories, and research students. This combination is what they are fundamentally looking at. So that is what we have to understand. So, now, the real problem is all these countries spend billions of dollars in research because they know the future lies in technology. So all the universities plus the government, all of them together spend a lot of research material on these things. So similarly, India is also doing the same thing with respect to IITs, NITs, etc. All the educational institutions. For what? What is the basic purpose they are looking for? Is research pipelines. For example, National Solar Mission, National Semiconductor Mission. Like that, everyone is looking for the whole point. National Semiconductor Mission, National Solar Mission, all these things. The concept of Micron ATMP project, that is also very important for prelims. So, like this, India is also doing the same thing with respect to the industry and all these things. And apart from this, if you observe, all big companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Adobe, all these guys are linking with respect to the industry and with respect to studies and so same thing India is also doing. For example, here we have TCS, Infosys, all these companies are also mixing up with these great students for the future. So fundamentally we are looking for global R&D plants. So for India, the missing links. What are the missing links that India has to upgrade on is basically it's all fragmented. There's no proper policy, and R&D is very less because the investments, especially from the private sector and the corporates, is very less in terms of R&D. We directly try to buy the products rather than doing research. That is a problem. So this clearly shows that we have a weak tech infra. That is what we have to understand. We have a weak technology infrastructure for which a lot of things have to be done. Especially if you are looking at semiconductors, chips manufacturing, all these things we are. So if our missions for future have to be authentic, then we have to work on all these things. And most important thing is we need to bring basically investments, cooperation from all the segments, and finally we have to work on the concept of policy. So policy. So if these gaps are filled, then we can see India as a rising star. Otherwise, US, China will take the advantage. So దీనికి కావాల్సిన నోట్స్ గ్లోబల్ R&D మోడల్స్ ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, NSF సపోర్ట్ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎట్లా ఉంది, చైనా ఏం చేస్తుంది, BYD స్పెండ్స్ $54.2 billion yuan ఇట్లా చేస్తున్నారు. ఇండియాస్ వీక్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, పబ్లిక్ ల్యాబ్స్ మనకు లేవు, కార్పొరేట్ R&D తక్కువ ఉంది, మల్టీ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ వర్క్ లేదు, IP డిస్ప్యూట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, రెగ్యులేటరీ అన్సర్టెనిటీస్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి, షేర్డ్ రీసెర్చ్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ లేదు అకాడమీషియాతో. సో దట్ ఇస్ అనదర్ బిగ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ దట్ వీఆర్ ఫేసింగ్. సో IITs, IIC Bangalore, సెమీకండక్టర్ మిషన్, రైజింగ్ కార్పొరేట్, TCS 3%, బజాజ్ వీళ్ళందరూ చేస్తున్నారు, బట్ నాట్ సఫిషియంట్ బికాస్ ద గ్లోబల్ వరల్డ్ ఈస్ వర్కింగ్ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్. సో అది కూడా ఒకటి ఆలోచించుకోవాలి. సో వాట్ ఇండియా మస్ట్ బిల్డ్, కోఫండ్ మల్టీ ఇయర్ రీసెర్చ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలి, షేర్ ల్యాబ్స్, ఓపెన్ డేటా ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్, మల్టీ పార్టీ రీసెర్చ్ క్లస్టర్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఓపెన్ IP, జాయింట్ ప్రోటోటైపింగ్, లాంగ్ టర్మ్ యూనివర్సిటీ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎంగేజ్మెంట్, PhD with industry talent, pipeline, semiconductors and biotech, materials, EVs and defense చేసుకోవాలి. Output targets from paper, patents as well as commercialization is what we have to understand. So end of the day, end of the video, mains and prelims questions, please try to answer them. The next important topic for today is AIDS and TB fight. Tamil Nadu shows the way again. So we have to understand that AIDS basically happens because of HIV virus, human immunovirus, and you know that it is very dangerous, majorly because of sexually transmitted diseases. And apart from that, even a small blood drop is also very dangerous for AIDS. So protected sex is very important. And overall, what you have observed is the statistics have shown that the number of AIDS patients have reduced because of availability of protections and everything, and more awareness. And Tamil Nadu has actually shown a huge percentage change with respect to the AIDS and other materials. So keeping that in mind, only the notes and statistics are very important. So no new vaccinations and all that. Everyone is working out for different methods in the world. So keeping that in mind, India faced rising HIV cases in 1990s, especially among high-risk groups like truck drivers, sex workers, and drug using youth. These were the major targets that they had. అయితే దీంట్లో చూసుకుంటే బేసికల్గా టీబీ లంగ్ ఇన్ఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది, లంగ్ ఇన్ఫెక్ట్ కాగానే బాడీలో మొత్తం అంతా బ్లడ్ సర్క్యులేషన్ అయిపోయి మొత్తం ఎవ్రీ పార్ట్ గెట్స్ destroyed and you will become very weak and finally you will die. That's the basic point. So TB remained widespread. If you are attacked with TB and then HIV virus, then it's gone. So fundamentally there is no immunity. That is the whole point. So it becomes very deadly when combined with untreated HIV virus. So Tamil Nadu reacted swiftly by forming one of India's earliest state AIDS control societies, TNSACS, and that has been very successful. Targeted interventions for sex workers, truckers, MSM groups as well as youth. So early adoption of HIV testing, counseling, condom campaigns and awareness drives across the districts were what was done basically. So that is what we are looking at. Now TNSAC model etla undante, Tamil Nadu is decentralized, takes its own form. NGO linked model became the national blueprint under NACP, National AIDS Controls Program. Endukante there was transparent reporting was very good, and real time surveillance was very good, and district ownerships. The administration have taken the ownership, strengthened the outcomes also. Mid-1990s, Tamil Nadu showed significant declines in new HIV infection state struggle, and TNSAS later integrated TB HIV coordination, tracking TB symptoms in HIV patients and vice versa. That is what was done. So TNSAS model has been the most successful model, which should be implemented in other states. VLSS lo kuda ee model So TB and HIV collaboration etla untundante Tamil Nadu systematically screened HIV patients with TB and rolled DOTS and ART linkages very early. So early stages lo detect chesaru kabatti prevention easy avutundi. So దీని వల్ల increased focus on drug resistant TB కూడా drug resistant అయిపోతుంది. Fast track referrals as well as ensured uninterrupted treatment. By 2023 లో చూసుకుంటే India recorded a decline in TB incidence with Tamil Nadu performing better than national averages. So Tamil Nadu again is showing the way for the whole country. State achieved high reporting, high testing priority and community acceptance for HIV TB joint care. That is what we are looking at. So ఈ పాయింట్ అచీవ్డ్ హై రిపోర్టింగ్, ఆ రిపోర్టింగ్ అనేది చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇమీడియట్గా ట్రీట్మెంట్ స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు, పీపుల్ కెన్ బి ప్రొటెక్టెడ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద హోల్ గేమ్ దట్ వీఆర్ లుకింగ్ ఎట్. సో దీంట్లో మనం చూసుకోవాల్సింది అంటే డాట్స్ ఒకటి అండ్ ART లింకేజెస్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ ఫిలిమ్స్, అండ్ వీఆర్ వర్క్ ఆన్ డ్రగ్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ TB, decline TB incidence and the model TB HIV collaboration along with what Tamil Nadu has done, the TNSAC model. So it is decentralized కాబట్టి దాని పవర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది, because state can take easy decisions very easily. So TNSA is later integrated with this one, and district ownership strengthened outcomes. That is the whole game that we are looking at. So adi manam jagatthaga గ్రహించుకోవాలి. So దీనికి కావాల్సిన notes as well as mains and prelims questions ఎన్నికలు ఉన్నాయి. Please try to answer them. That's the whole game. Next important topic for today is Modi urges people to take part in Kashi Tamil Sangamam. So this is very important from context point of view. So what we have to understand is the Kashi Tamil Nadu Sangamam. Sangamam means all of them coming together. So cultural ga chala important అయిపోతుంది basically ga. That is what we have to understand. So this is the fourth Kashi Tamil Sangamam which has been happening. So దీంట్లో ఏమంటున్నారంటే on December 2nd ఎక్కడ జరుగుతున్నది, December 2nd, that is tomorrow at Namo Ghat. That is Namo Ghat. Okay, so Varanasi lo. So this is Varanasi. So దీంట్లో తమిళ్ కేరళం అంటే అందరూ కలిసి చేయడం. That point is very important. తమిళ్ కేరళం అంటారన్నమాట బేసికల్ గా. So shared cultural heritage between Tamil traditions and Kerala influence and Kashi. So basically we are looking for three states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Kashi, Varanasi. So ఈ మూడింటిని కల్చరల్ గా ఒక మంచి కొలాబరేషన్ జరగాలని ఓవరాల్ ఐడియా. సో బేసికల్ గా చూసుకుంటే సో ఇక్కడ మనకి major important points from this, why this is very important is 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram. That is first point. Then INS Mahe involvement into this, and majorly cultural dimension. Cultural dimension is what we are looking for. Mahe, cultural dimensions, and martial arts, Kalari Pattu. ఇవన్నీ కూడా షోకేస్ చేస్తారు బేసికల్గా దీంట్లో. దట్ ఇస్ వాట్ దే ఆర్ లుకింగ్ ఎట్. సో ఇట్స్ అ కల్చరల్ కాంగ్లోమరేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. అండ్ ఇన్ఫినిటీ క్యాంపస్, దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ మేజర్ థింగ్ దట్ వీఆర్ లుకింగ్ ఫర్. సో దీంట్లో మనకి వికసిత్ భారత్ is what Modi has said. Indigenization kabatti Atmanirbhar Bharat. There are two angles that we are looking at with respect to this meeting. So దీంట్లో ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే బేసికల్గా we are also planning for something called Himalayan regions లో బాగా చేయడానికి winter tourism, దాన్ని బాగా డెవలప్ చేయాలనే ఐడియా. And winter games. దానివల్ల lot of other countries also will start participating. So domestically గా international గా ఒక ఇమేజ్ మనకి పెరుగుతుంది, especially because of this. సో దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి ఒక సివిలైజేషనల్ బాండ్ ప్లస్ నేషనల్ సాలిడారిటీ. సాలిడారిటీ అంటే అందరు కలిసి చేసుకోండి. ఈ రెండు భయంకరంగా పెరుగుతాయని బేసికల్గా ఉద్దేశం ఆఫ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఆర్టికల్. సో దీనికి కావాల్సిన నోట్స్, కాంటెక్స్ట్, ఈవెంట్ డీటెయిల్స్, కల్చరల్ సిగ్నిఫికెన్స్ క్లియర్గా మెన్షన్ చేశాను. సో తమిళ్ కేరళం, కల్చరల్ స్పిరిచువల్ యూనిటీ పెరుగుతుంది. తమిళ్ ఐడెంటిటీ, తమిళ్ ట్రెడిషన్స్ అండ్ ప్రొఫౌండ్ కాశీ తమిళ్ బాండ్ ప్రిజర్వ్ ఫర్ సెంచరీస్ ఉంది అని చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. దీంట్లో తమిళ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ as ప్రైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, November 26 కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ డే, ఓల్డ్ పార్లమెంట్ బిల్డింగ్, సంవిధాన్ సదన్, 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram showcasing India's literacy and national heritage. Youth dedication and commitment of scientists filled him with pride, called this energy one of the greatest strengths of Viksit Bharat and చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. So PM praised student from Pune who created drone capable of stable flight, difficult in meteorological conditions, encouraged innovation driven participation. Skyroot Aerospace Infinity Campus called it the major boost for India's future in private space launch ki chala useful. Startups working on rockets, propulsion systems and small testing strengthen India's space system and చెప్పడం very clear. So PM urges citizens for Himalayan region, especially winter tourism, campaign protecting winter games. Then Wed in India gaining popularity. Navy linked heritage to tourism reference maritime museums in Delhi, Goa as part of enriching India's coastal as well as cultural tourism throughout the world. That is what we are looking at. So end of the video, mains and prelims questions, please try to answer them. Next important topic is highlights Great Nicobar project sites biodiversity. Notes very important. 3 species are there which you will get a scope of prelims question. So scientific assessments reveal previously undocumented biodiversity akkada, especially at Great Nicobar Island GNA project site. Findings ఏం ఎమర్జ్ చేసినాయి? Great Nicobar project which proposes large infrastructure including transshipment port, township and airstrip. You know that. So recent paper in Nature Ecology and Evolution stresses the ecological importance of newly recorded species. So ఈ newly recorded species becomes the scope of prelims question ki చాలా important. So దీంట్లో 6 new species of snails కనుక్కున్నారు. Record sightings of multiple fauna కూడా కనుక్కున్నారు were found near the proposed port site. So for example, Nicobar bulbul, it's a bird species, first time in the project zone. Therefore this becomes scope for prelims question. Next, Nicobari megapod, nest located near project alignment. That is another prelims question you can expect. Rare amphibians, insects and other microfauna were also found in the forest tracks. That's another very important thing. Many species found have endemism. Endemism ante forest lo undadam, meaning they occur only in Great Nicobar and nowhere else. So endemic species ante only particular zones lo కనపడితే వేరే స్పోర్ట్స్ లో కనపడవు. సో అట్లాంటి రేర్ స్పీషీస్ ఈ పోర్ట్ దగ్గర ఉన్నాయని చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. At least 40% of Great Nicobar's diversity is made of restricted range species and మనం కూడా చెప్పొచ్చు. That is another point. So IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, lists several of these species as vulnerable or endangered అని కూడా మనం చెప్పొచ్చు. Scientists warn that EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, failed to capture full biodiversity due to limited sampling. Great Nicobar Island is a part of UNESCO designated Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, which is a global biodiversity hotspot. Island hosts 650 fauna species and unique old growth forests with high ecological function. New findings strengthen the argument of revising project element, increasing buffer zones and updating EIAs. So, ఈ environmental impact assessments మనం జాగ్రత్త చేసుకుంటే ఈ ప్రొటెక్టెడ్ స్పీషీస్ మనం ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఎందుకంటే మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ అండర్ CITES Appendix 1 అండ్ IUCN రెడ్ లిస్టెడ్ ఎండేంజర్డ్ క్రిటికల్ స్పీషీస్ కింద వస్తున్నాయి. సో అందుకే వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద వీడియోలో మెయిన్స్ అండ్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్లీజ్ ట్రై టు ఆన్సర్ దెమ్. నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్, Cyclone Ditwa weakens 3 die in rain related incidents. Cyclone Ditwa weakened on Sunday as it traveled northward towards Bay of Bengal parallel to Tamil Nadu Puducherry coastline. Movement slowed down significantly. System stayed at 80 kilometers offshore. Drifting అయిపోయింది. Sunday morning ki the system had reduced a deep depression, though it continued to rain heavily. The meteorological center reports show cyclone's core gradually losing its strength, weakening gale winds, but persistent moisture-laden clouds. So వర్షాలు పడుతున్నాయి. ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆన్ తమిళనాడు, తంజావూర్ వాల్ కొలాప్స్ అయింది, తుట్టకుడిలో ఇంకో పెద్ద డెత్ అయింది, మైల్తురాయిలో 1 person ఎలక్ట్రిడ్ అయింది. 2,300 people placed in government relief camps for safety, which shows that we are climate resilient right now. 300 plus huts severely damaged and destroyed. 56,000 hectares of crops inundated, paddy fields and horticultural crops. State Revenue and Disaster Management Minister Ramchandran viewed this damage and relief operations on the ground. Sri Lanka lo bhayankaranga, because of this, the biggest country which got hit is Sri Lanka. Almost 340 deaths అయినాయి. నా ఒక 360-400 మంది కనపడట్లేదు. So catastrophic impact జరిగింది, 334 deaths, 300 persons missing. Worst affected districts, Padula, Kandy, Nuwara, Ilia and Matale. Regions with fragile slopes and highly vulnerable economically marginalized communities కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో వీళ్ళందరూ బాగా డిస్ప్లేస్ అయ్యారు. సో ఇమీడియట్ యాక్టివేషన్ ఏం చేయాలి? రిలీఫ్ క్యాంప్స్ పెట్టాలి, వల్నరబుల్ పీపుల్ని ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. Disaster management authorities monitoring flooding of rivers, waterlogging in urban pockets, seasons, weak structures prone to collapse. Advisory issued for fishermen to avoid venturing into sea until the conditions normalize. So mains and prelims questions which are quick glance for them. First one is about research and pipeline, industry pipeline. Second one is about TNS AS model. Third one, Kashi Tamil Sangamam with a question. Fourth one, biodiversity findings in Great Nicobar project. Cyclone Ditwa's impact itla undi anedi question. If you look at this is the key mains question ఒకసారి చెక్ చేద్దాం. Mains లో చూసుకుంటే India's innovation bottleneck lies in the lack of talent but in the absence of sustained industry research pipelines. దీన్ని డిస్కస్ చేయమన్నారు with reference to institutional reforms and R&D output with respect to India. Next question, how Tamil Nadu's decentralized AIDS control framework evolved into HIV/TB coordination. దాన్ని అనలైజ్ చేయమంటున్నారు with respect to early detection, in targeted intervention and administrative design. That's another beautiful question. Next, discuss the cultural and political significance of the programs like Kashi Tamil Sangamam in strengthening India's civilization integration. Then discuss cheyamantunnaru. So you need more examples. The new biodiversity discoveries in Great Nicobar project, then critical examine cheyantunnaru. Wala challenges entidi for mega projects, ethics entidi, conservation ethics, ecological fragility and development planning ki etla hurt avutundo questions adigaru. So that is what you have to do. And finally, analyze the cyclone Ditwa, illustrate gaps and strengthens India's disaster readiness framework, especially in coastal states. The question adigam jarigindi. Please answer these questions and send it to us. We'll correct and give it to you. That's all for today. Shaman Pradipuna signing off. Bye-bye.